Craig Adams here from weddingfilmschool.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to license music for your wedding films. First, I'm going to share with you the process to go through it all, and then I'm going to share some tips and advice that I've learned that can help. So we've all been there, we've shot the wedding, we're into the edit, and we have to find music for it. In the past, you kind of just used whatever and no one really cared. I would use that Coldplay song, and if you look at some of my early weddings, Jason Mraz, whatever, we've all been there. But things have changed as of, around 2010. We have the ability to license through these new websites that are online. The four that I use mainly are like the Music Bed, Marmoset, which used to be with Etiquette, Triple Scoop Music, and Song Freedom. And then also another one that I like is freemusicarchive.org, and that's a bit different, but I'll explain that. You search through these sites, you find the tracks that you like, and then, the second step is to download these demos. So most of these websites have tracks that are available for you to download without paying, but they're demos, they have watermarks.
The Music Bed.
You go into your edit, and step 3 is to just use these demo tracks in your edit as you do. And if it works, it works, Step 4 is once you're done with the final edit is to go back to these sites and to actually license and pay for them. After you do that, you will be able to download the real, unwatermarked version. You take those and you put them into where your placeholder demos were. And then, step 5 is to share, export, share, and you have your song. And yeah, it sounds great probably. So I've learned a couple of tips that are definitely helpful along the way. And the first one is to provide a link to the songs that you use, in the description, whether it's YouTube or Vimeo or whatever, put a little link explaining the music that you used, because I get tons of people, couples, other filmmakers, anyone who are like, what was the track that you used? What was this song at 325? And if you just put that information into the description, it just skips a step and makes everyone happy. Tip 2 is to make a wish list of the songs that you're not using for this project, but you may use in the future. As you're scanning through these lists in the browse sections of these websites, you'll find tons of songs that just may not fit for what you're doing right now. So save them in these wish lists. Step 3 is to educate your couples about, the laws of music copyright. You don't have to give them everything, but just give them the basics of what they need to know. That, they may want that Ed Sheeran song in their highlight film, but you have to explain that A, it would be very difficult, and B, extremely expensive if they were able to license the song of, popular artists. So just explain to them that these are the websites that I'm using to do. And I myself, I always make sure to keep 100% control, creative control over, the music and the scoring of my films, because, they may like this song and it may be a cool, dope ass song, but it may not fit for what you're shooting. And you're editing, you shot the wedding, you know what is going to work best. So keep that, you should have that right to make those decisions. And if they can't respect that, you don't have to say yes to every couple. If they're giving you a hard time, it may not work out because you're not a right fit. Tip 4 is if you actually do get those YouTube red flags, the takedown notice emails, you can deal with them accordingly. I've gotten 3 of them so far, and I've fought every one and I've won because I had the rights and I bought the licenses to the tracks that were in question. YouTube has these robots that scan through songs real quick and check out the waveform to see if it matches up with, copyrighted music from the people who want to sue or send takedown notices through the site. And if you have the license, they don't necessarily know that. So you kind of have to just let them know through the email, I have the rights to it, I can provide documentation. And then usually they're like, all right, cool, sorry about that. And then you just move on. Tip 5 is to customize the tracks that you do license. The staple of a very advanced and nice edit is that you change the song to match what you're doing. So, I'm sure we've all been in a situation where you're like, you're putting the speech at the beginning of the film and you want the track, the music track to like swell up toward the end of the speech and then come in with lyrics. But sometimes, you know, you'll have 10 seconds, but you need 20 seconds. And you don't want the lyrics of the song to come up halfway through the maid of honor's speech. So you can, you know, using the beats and the tempos, you kind of have to analyze the song. It's as simple as splicing and then adding crossfades to lengthen or shorten, or even, you know, add another chorus to the end. You know, there's a ton of different things you can do. And I do that to almost, you know, most songs that I use in my films, I will modify in some time. I've even, you know, taken a stretch of a song and then sped it up or slowed it down to match exactly the beat or the moment that I want. And sometimes you can't even notice and it just sounds good and it works. So why not try? Tip 6 is to do the math and actually realize that it's not that expensive to do things right and to license your music. So, you know, the typical licensed music track costs about $50, and if you have 2 of those per wedding edited into your films, that's about $100 per wedding. But you know, if you're doing 20 weddings, that's about $2,000 per year. And if that sounds like a lot, just tack on an extra $100 to your wedding packages and see what happens. I guarantee you that you're going to make more money and book more clients because your songs elevate your wedding films. You know, if it sounds better, you know, everyone's happy. Tip 7 is to, you know, keep coming back to these sites. There's always new content that's coming out. Always make sure in the browse section, you know, check like recent or newly added, and you'll find a ton of new stuff that's dope. So check that out. And honestly, if you have to reuse a wedding song in your films, you know, one that you used previously, it's not the end of the world, because brides, honestly, when they watch your films, they're watching ones that you shot in the past. So, you know, they fall in love with that work and they kind of want to just see themselves in that new film that you're shooting for them. So if it worked in the past, it's going to work again. So don't be afraid to reuse and recycle the songs. So one thing that I would like for you to do is to comment below the last song that you licensed in a wedding film. I would always come to these, you know, brick walls while picking out songs and be like, what should I use? But then I'll watch another film on Facebook or something, or YouTube, and be like, that song's dope. What is that? I find it in the description if they have a link, and then, you know, I'll use that song. So let's share some awesome songs, and hopefully we'll help each other out in picking some awesome songs for our new wedding films. Thank you all for watching. See ya.